This show contains adult content. We open in arguably the nicest casino in Dodge City. There are people winning and losing everywhere, cries of success and absolute ruin. Lights are blaring, can hear balls rolling on roulette tables, cards and chips being shuffled and slammed down on tables. The whole thing smells like tobacco smoke, and it feels to Ellis a bit like the future as we tilt down to his face. I mean, you grew up in Colorado, and most of your time before this was spent on the railroad, and yet here you are in probably the nicest place you've ever held a job at. What does like a young 20-year-old Ellis Crow look like? Is he a bit more handsome than he is now? Well, obviously, but
a little bit, maybe. I mean, he's definitely a little bit younger looking, obviously. I wouldn't say more handsome, but he's also... This is before his marriage, before he came into real money. So he does look not quite as slick. You know what I mean?
The suit doesn't quite fit.
It's not the best suit, you know. It's a pretty cheap suit, but it is a suit. Yeah, maybe it's not the perfect fit. It's not hand-tailored for him. But with that being said, I think this is the most money he's ever had in his life. You know, before this, he was working as like a railroad guard. You're not making a whole lot of money there. Plus, housing is a lot better. His living conditions in general are a lot better. So he's pretty happy with the job. He's got the perfect job right now, too. This is like right up his alley. He loves doing it. This is one of the highest points of Ellis's life.
I think a lot of those thoughts are running through Ellis's head, and we can see a smile on his face as he's interrupted by the gruff-sounding pit boss behind him.
Hey, Crow, the boss wants to see ya.
The boss wants to see me? What about?
Listen, kid.
He comes in close and puts a bear-like mitt on your shoulder.
I know you haven't been here long, but you don't fuck with the boss. You don't ask her questions, you don't question her. So when she says to get some dumb shit off the floor, I fucking grab you. I don't ask her any goddamn questions about it.
All right, relax. I just wanted to know. It's no big deal. I'll go up there.
He turns with a big, wide, silver smile and kind of pats you on the shoulder.
Hey, just don't get scared, kid.
Don't get your ass beat while I'm gone.
We see Ellis head up the casino stairs, the same stairs we've seen in his dreams. And you enter in sort of like the behind-the-scenes area, you know? I think mahogany or maple paneled walls, the tobacco smoke replaced with the smell of lilacs and
gooseberries.
And I don't know what it sounds like up here. I think it's just the muted laughter and cheering from down below.
When was a phonograph invented?
Yeah, I really want one to be playing, but I'm not sure.
Let me look it up real fast. Oh, it looks pretty old, dude. 1877.
But it's Weird West.
I think it's good enough. Yeah, it's Weird West. Too. I think we can have a phonograph.
The sound of a phonographic record player soon drowns out the cheers and laughs from down on the casino floor as you come into the room adjacent to the boss's office. There's a secretary sitting there. He's got bright green eyes, beautiful blonde hairdo, maybe with a little bit too much grease in it. And he's got a very tightly fitted suit with a red tie as he is transcribing some notes in a ledger. And the phonograph plays nearby him. He's sitting behind a beautifully, intricately carved oak desk, and there is risque art on the walls surrounding him, all hand-painted, and I think your eyes are drawn to like a stunning portrait of your boss, Eliza. As your eyes sort of like lock to it, the secretary talks. Hey there, something I can get for you?
Ellis is kind of still like gazing around this room, kind of lost in all of this. Even just the sound of this phonograph playing is probably a little surprising to him, right?
For sure, yeah. This is the nicest place you've ever been, you know?
And I don't know if I've ever actually been in this room before.
I think seeing a phonograph is a bit like in 2020, like walking into someone's house and they've got like a 70-inch TV screen with a surround sound system or something, you know?
Sorry there, friend. I was told to come up here. My name's Crow.
Certainly, yeah, she's waiting for you. Just head on in.
Just head on in?
Yeah. Hey, and speak when spoken to.
All right, thanks. And then Ellis kind of takes off his hat and brushes his fingers through his hair, trying to get it looking kind of nice.
She's got one of those private eye frosted glass doors with a gold lever action doorknob that clicks and swings inwards. What does your future wife's office look like?
It's simple, but it's pretty elegant at the same time, you know? There's not a lot in here. I think she has a very large desk. Man, what other kind of decor would she have?
She has a lot of people that are grateful to her. You know how you walk into a fast food restaurant or something and they have all these letters from like communities that they've donated to or something?
Yeah.
What's like the Western equivalent of that for gangsters? You know, I don't know.
I don't know, letters?
Just
There's a bunch of letters.
I don't know.
I think that she probably has a lot of pride in her accomplishments.
She could have the deed to this place on the wall, perhaps her degree from a prestigious college.
I don't think she went to college. She,
Oh.
I have a whole backstory for Eliza, too, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. She came from Ireland, or her parents did, before she was born. They arrived in New York City, and then New York City was shit, so they decided to try and head west to try and get some land and maybe make a life for themselves. And then they landed in Dodge. Her father was a pretty simple man. He owned a general store here in Dodge for a while. And then she was born not too long after that. Her mom died in childbirth, so just her and her dad. He raised her alone, never remarried. She kind of took over the general store for him. Business wasn't great. She decided to just sell the store, save the money, start working as a waitress. And then through waitressing is when she kind of learned about how much money there is to be had in gambling and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's also where she learned that drunk men wanting to brag to a pretty face, they'll say a lot, you know?
I think there's a lot of finery. I think there's a lot of simple gifts from simple folk in here. And I think most everything in here doesn't matter to her, but I think she has two things. She has a photograph of her when she was a kid, small, framed in the most elaborate frame possible, and then a large portion of the sign from her father's general store kind of turned into an art piece on one of the walls.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. She probably has electric lights in here.
Yeah.
Her desk is probably extremely elaborate, so like a large oak desk. It's got to be handcrafted, obviously. You know,
Yeah.
It's the 1800s, but like a master craftsman, you can tell that whoever did this has spent years doing woodworking. It's flawless.
Cool.
I think it's very large. She definitely has it set up in a way where she seems more imposing to whoever's on the other side. Perhaps her chair is a little bit higher off the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe theirs is a little bit lower than,
Hers is huge and leather, and the other
Yeah.
one is like a wood.
small wood chair.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes it so their head barely pokes up over the other side, their head and shoulders.
Cool. Well, on the other side of this massive desk is Eliza Crow. She's a stunning woman dressed smartly, very little jewelry. And as you enter, she doesn't glance up. She seems to be writing on a piece of paper, and she just like points out with the finger towards the empty chair and then continues to write.
I think at this point, Ellis's heart is just racing. After all the stuff he's been through, this is probably one of the most nerve-wracking experiences that he's had. But yeah, he nervously kind of makes his way over the chair, noisily maybe scoots it out, sits down in it, tucks himself closer to the desk.
She holds up her left finger for a moment, and you can see her eyes sort of hiding behind these reading glasses with a chain that runs behind her neck. They're like those like half moon reading glasses, you know, where the lenses are super small. And she holds up that finger as she finishes writing. She puts the pencil down, takes off her glasses and lets them fall at her neck. And then she leans back in this comfy chair with a wry smile to match the expression that's normally sitting on Ellis's face. Mr. Crow, do you go by Elijah?
No, ma'am, you can call me Ellis.
Why don't you speak up?
No, ma'am, you can call me Ellis.
Okay, Ellis. You've been doing a lot of good work.
Thank you, ma'am.
When we interviewed you, you said you were a railroad guard before this?
Yeah, that's right. Ever since I was 16.
Family didn't have a lot of money, I take it?
No, ma'am. My dad, he passed when I was pretty young, so it's just been me, my mom, my brothers. So not much money to go around, I'm afraid.
One thing the pit boss has been saying, and I think I've noticed myself too, is fight awfully strange for a railroad hand, if you don't mind me saying.
Now, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you ain't a bruiser. Whenever I've seen you fight, it's like, let's just say you ain't a boxer.
Yeah, you're right about that. I've had a little bit different training when it comes to fighting.
She nods. I like that. I like that quite a bit. You've been here, what's it been, 4 months?
Yeah.
You know what we do here, Mr. Crow? Ellis?
Yeah, it's a casino.
She kind of leans forward with a smile. She looks down at your suit and then looks back up to you. Ellis, what do we do with people that are caught cheating, that are caught stealing from the casino?
Yeah, we kick them out, ban them from the casino.
Now, what would you do if we banned someone and they came back and then kept doing it?
Whatever you tell me to do, I guess.
She leans in and her eyes narrow and her expression becomes somber. What would you do if they came in with a gun, threatened somebody, threatened a dealer, took everything at the table and left?
I'd get that money back.
What if they put up a fight?
Well, I'd either put up a better fight, or maybe I wind up with a bullet in my head.
She smiles. Let's hope that's not the case. Be ashamed to have you die so young.
Now, why are you asking me? Did somebody take a bunch of your property and run off with it?
It's a big town and it's a big state. There are always people coming through here and, well, they didn't take my money. So that's why I've got you. She smiles. But these people coming through, they're bandits, robbers. You know the type. They're coming in, spending the money they earned off killing a stagecoach, stayed over, and we can't do a damn thing about it. And the whole time they're gambling, they're drinking, they're telling that dealer and any pretty face that'll listen about the job they just pulled and how much money they just made.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there.
Our job, Elijah, is to take people's money that don't need it and redistribute it to people that do.
Redistribute it?
Sure.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not really following you here.
She motions around the room and then kind of stands up. This desk right here, this was a gift from a man who was almost pushed out of his home because he broke his leg, couldn't work for a few months. We helped him through. That chair you're sitting on, different man, helped him out when he was going through a rough time. We got that money from people that shouldn't have had it. This whole room is full of thank yous from people that we helped. And I'd like to help more people.
And you want my help? Helping these people.
That's right. Helping get the money out of hands that don't deserve it.
Okay.
Is that something you're interested in, Mr. Crow?
Might be.
She comes on your side of the desk and sits/leans on it right next to you, crosses her arms looking down at you in this small wooden chair. She comes over, you get a whiff of her perfume, which despite never having seen it, reminds you of the sea.
Ellis kind of struggles to maintain eye contact at this point. His eyes constantly kind of dart down as he talks to her. So, just so we're on the same page here, what you want me to do is go after some of these outlaws, these bandits, take what they have, and then bring it back to you, and you're going to give it to carpenters and farmers, tailors.
She nods, kind of scrunching up her bottom lip. Sounds about right. I don't want you to do it without dying.
So how do we find these bandits?
Oh, that's my job. You just got to worry about taking the money.
I'll give it a shot. I'll see if the work suits me. Does it come with any sort of pay raises or anything like that?
She laughs, and the smile that comes over her face is the smile that she knows she has you. She says, well, like you said, you're a poor man, Mr. Crow. We got to redistribute the wealth. How many scraps you been in, Ellis?
More than I can count, ma'am. Me, my brothers, some of the local guys and gals.
How many of those scraps did you get shot at in?
I mean, not very many. There were a few out there on the frontier.
Well, if you're really agreeing to this, Ellis, there's going to be a lot of those times. Now, it's a lot of money. We'll pay you well, and we'll just redistribute the money. And if God forbid you die, I swear to God, or anybody that's listening, that I will send your mother enough money for her to survive the rest of her life.
Oh, is that so?
That's so.
Is there some sort of way we can get that in writing?
Certainly.
I just want to make sure my mom's taken care of, and my brothers, of course.
I don't want you getting any ideas in your head of running out there and just getting yourself killed so you don't have to work for me and your mom can get all this free cash.
Well, lucky for you, Ellis Crow happens to be invincible.
There's a hard cut, and the phonograph turns to the sound of thunder as we see lightning strike on the restless waves of the Great Maze. Towering above the Crow boys on the boat Maribel, the great fortress of which they hope to breach. Deadlands Reloaded and the Savage Worlds rule system are owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Music on the show is provided by Rudy Zuniga, Levi Rojas, and Voidcore Productions. Sounds Like Crows is brought to you by Aaron Blackston, Ariel Weiss, Greg Gray, Jared, Suzanne Hagen, along with all of our other patrons at patreon.com/Sounds Like Crows. Folks, we're going to be at Genghis Con. We're going to be there from February 13th through February 16th. We have an event on Saturday. Event's a strong word. We have a room for a little bit where we're going to play games and hang out with anyone that listens to our show and wants to come hang out with us. Hit us up on Discord or Twitter if you're going to be at Genghis Con and want to meet up. Or just say hi. I'm sure you'll be able to find us. If you want to find out more about Genghis Con, go to GenghisConColorado.com. Also, have you checked out our new show yet? We have a new show, Oven's Call. Look it up. Wherever you're finding this podcast, you should be able to find us. We are having some difficulty with certain providers, but I think we are on all the major ones. OMEN_S_CALL. It is another edited actual play in the same sort of vein as Crows is. Set in the fantasy world of Midgard by Kobold Press, we follow the Omens, a mercenary company in the frozen north inspired by Norse mythology and with a little bit of Caleb twist in there. With all that out of the way and only the drone of the theme song left in the background, welcome back to the Weird West.
I'm going for it.
And nobody hears him say it.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing this.
Because it's cool.
Well, he does have a
cool
death wish.
I do. This is exactly up my wheelhouse, I feel like.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll give you that.
Get another Benny Alex for
Another one?
for
This is gonna be
potentially
terrible.
committing suicide.
You're playing hard into your flaw there.
Well,
think
he's got
so.
6 bennies, guys.
Oof.
6.
All right, Caleb, you said it was right below deck? Or right below the water?
Yeah, it's coming towards the boat.
I'm jumping.
Okay.
I'm going to try and slash at this thing.
Do it. Does anyone see him jump?
Yeah, I think you guys are probably on deck doing this rope business, right? You see me run by with the Bowie knife in my mouth. I take it out of my mouth and put it in my left hand. Good luck, boys. See you on the other side. And I just run and jump off before you can even do anything.
Alice, no! God damn it!
Okay, so a lot of really good things happen because of this. Number one, it is large, so you get a +2 on your attack roll, and then cover doesn't matter anymore, and lighting doesn't matter anymore because you're in melee with it, and then the choppy waters don't matter because you're just fucking lunging in there, I think.
Okay.
What is your athletics?
Very bad.
What I'd like is
The
a
D6.
successful athletics roll at -2, and as long as you're successful, you don't get -2 because of the choppy waters. If you're not successful, you just get a -2.
Now, is he holding on to this? How is he going to stay within melee of this?
My plan was to stick the Bowie knife into the thing's flesh and hold on to it. I don't know if that'll work.
I'm gonna start
I
punching
figured
it.
we kind of roll and then figure it out.
At a -2,
Yep.
I got a 5 and a 4.
Well, that's a Benny.
I say he's the Benny King over here.
That's
Do
a
have a lot of
Benny
bennies.
down.
I'm going to use a red Benny. Puts me at a 7.
Cool.
So that's a 5.
So you're fine. So you're getting a +2 to your fighting roll now.
Cool. So I got a +2 to fighting. I can just roll normal fighting right now?
Yeah, let's roll it and then let's do what happens. How are you?
All right, I'm doing a frenzy. I'm doing a wild attack.
It's pretty wild what
We're
you're doing
doing
right
+4, yeah.
I believe it.
Oh boy. That's an 11 and a 12 on my fighting dice.
Ooh,
That's
oof.
good.
So that
You'll
12's going
hit
to
him.
blow up to a 3. So we're looking at a 15 +4, 19, and then 11 +4 is a 15.
both are raises.
Yes.
Let's see some damage.
So this is the first hit. Oh, not great.
Yikes,
Not
that is
good
not good at all.
I can't re-roll damage with anything, correct? Or
No,
does
you can use a
blue-
Benny to reroll damage.
Which one?
All of them.
Wait,
Any
what?
of
You can do that now?
In Suede, yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Anybody have questions about it? They can go back and listen to our Suede Transition podcast episode.
Much better. Much better.
Oh my god.
Did you blow up a 12 and a 6?
That's
Yep.
correct, sir. So that's a 3 and a 6 and a 12 so far. So that's what, 21?
Yep.
I'll re-roll these little doozies. That is a 11 and a 4. So that's 15 plus 21. 36 plus 2 from wild attack and 1 from my strength.
So in Savage Worlds,
Yeah.
you just did 39 damage.
Yeah.
For anyone that does not play the system,
That's fucking hard.
I mean, if you've made it this far in our show, has happened, what, one time?
I don't think we've broken 40. So I think that may be the largest amount of combat damage we've ever done. Tweet at us. It sounds
I
crisp.
think I would have remembered a 40. It's bonkers either way, Alex, is what that was.
Okay, well, it's going to make a fucking vigor roll. Let's start there.
Nah, I should give up.
It's going to spend one of its bennies. Its vigor is a D12 plus 2.
You know how pissed off I'm going to be if Ellis just jumps in the water and just kills this thing?
Yeah, me
One-shot
too. Kind of.
One success.
That's a pretty big vigor dice, though.
Let me do some math here.
I mean, it's like 50 feet long.
39.
Then you
Remember
one-shot
that number.
Well, Lucky did like 13 damage and it didn't even hurt it.
I'm going to re-roll it.
Oh my god.
Please don't blow up. Please don't blow up.
7.
Yes.
That is a 9, so that's 2 successes. I'm going to add a D6.
Oh my god.
This is the first attack, too. He's got another one coming.
14, 3 successes. Okay, well, I think that's the best it's going to get. Yeah, it takes 2 wounds.
Nice.
Sheesh.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's taken 2 of its 3 wounds. So as you plunge into the water, you're using this Bowie knife.
I think that my first attack was almost like a pile driver kind of thing into this.
Okay.
But I don't know how to make it.
Probably
like,
leading with the knife.
like a superhero downward, like, you know, those punches they do. You know what I'm talking about when they're dropping or jumping and they
Like Brad Pitt in Troy.
Yes.
Jump sideways and Superman punch him.
like one of those off the deck of the ship, though.
Okay,
onto
cool.
this thing.
Cool. Then I think it must be close enough to the surface of the water that, you know, there wasn't a lot of water to break that.
Yeah.
So I think even you are surprised by how close it was. And I think the boys can see Ellis jump off and land on the water like Jesus, slamming his fist down.
Maybe as soon as his fists make connection, we just hear a loud, thunderous crack. And literally the world shakes.
or this thing fucking lets out just a roar and it does the same thing.
You land on something, Ellis, that feels a bit like the back of a horse, but it's slippery and slimy and black. But your fist makes a solid connection with it. Yeah, and then do whatever else you got.
All right, I have one more attack from that frenzy, so I'm going to... So I'm like on top of this thing. My first hit connects really well. I kind of get up a little bit, cock my fist back again, and I'm going to try and hit it in like almost the same spot.
Okay.
9, and that 6 blew up again.
15 damage?
Yeah, that was for part of the frenzy that I rolled before.
Cool.
Oh.
15 plus 6... I just blew it up again. 21. This is ridiculous. That's a 21.
I'm just going to spend all my bennies early. It's
Okay,
fine.
24 plus 3 from wild attack plus my strength.
It was just a measly 27 damage this time. You should just probably pack up your dice, man. You know, it's over.
Yeah, maybe. I will spend one of my bennies. Roll vigor. Oh, and it's still shaken. So I think I'm going to spend a benny to make it unshaken. I'm literally pulling out a calculator for Savage World. So you are doing 2 wounds. It rolled an 11 after the plus 2, -2, so it soaks.
Oh, no.
It soaks
Oh,
it.
no.
However, it has taken 2 wounds, and I've spent 5 bennies in one turn to get here.
Oh, no. Okay, so if I were to make like an offhand attack, but my goal is not to necessarily do damage, it's to... I want to lodge this knife in there so I have something to hold on to. What would you have me do? Just a regular attack, or...
You can just do that. You just want a handhold. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Cool.
So after all of that, how do you stab this knife into it?
It's pretty dark. It's this thing's slippery a little bit. Honestly, I feel it going back down beneath the waves, and I kind of panic, and I get to the most stable position I can, kind of like drop onto this thing, and then just stab the knife into it wherever I can find a good spot.
Let me get this straight. Ellis jumped off the boat and punched a dragon so hard that it's half dead. Whatever this thing is,
Leviathan.
he like punched it in the rib cage so hard that it's half dead.
Dude, if it's
more than half
if it's
dead,
only
I
half
think.
dead, I'm fucked.
Wild cards have 4 wounds, right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I guess
3
they
and
do,
then they're
yeah.
dead, so it's taken 2.
It might have like some crazy edges or something though too. It gives
That's
them,
true.
It does have some stuff.
I told you.
I mean, this is what you wanted, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Should I go? Then I should do my Wing Chun attack too, huh?
I don't know what the hell any of that means. I've been playing with you for so long, and you still speak nonsense to me.
Whenever I make an unarmed attack, Wing Chun is a fighting style. It took 2 edges to get to it, or 3 edges, because you have to have martial arts, then Chi Mastery, then you can get Superior Kung Fu. Wing Chun lets you make 1 attack as a free action as long as you're attacking unarmed. Which is like a flurry of blows kind of thing, you know?
But didn't you just get that? You just attacked twice.
Yeah, well, that was from Frenzy. So Frenzy, when you make an attack on your turn...
Okay, I don't care anymore. I don't care. You can do a lot of attacks.
I can do 3 attacks and then an offhand attack.
So we can do
4 attacks.
But the last one's at -2.
The last one's at -2.
I know.
Oh, no.
All right, are you doing it?
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to die. You're looking through this book, you're looking at all this shit. Like,
well,
I gotta give it a shot.
But wouldn't this have changed the other ones? Like, doesn't this give like a -2 to everything?
No, Wing Chun's a free action.
Okay, what's your Wing Chun?
It's a 9.
So it's a hit, no raise.
Oh, okay.
That traveled, man.
Not looking good. Looking at 9, 12.
Not enough. It's not its turn. However, there is blood in the water. Its body shudders and turns, and it's not its turn, but you can feel it start to like shudder and shake and almost twist underneath you, Alex, which is something you're going to have to deal with next round. Now let's deal with initiative. Lucky, 7 of spades. Ellis, queen of clubs. Abel,
oh no,
the 3rd ace of spades in the deck. Harper, 7 of diamonds. Thaddeus, 3 of diamonds.
It's cool. I need some time.
The NPCs get a queen of spades. And then this thing hopped up on bloodlust gets a joker.
Oh, no.
No.
It gains 3 edges once blood has been spilled in the water around it, but the 2 we're going to talk about are Berserk and Frenzy.
Oh my god, this is a Megalodon.
Ellis is holding on to this thing's back. It was on a collision course for Old Boots' boat, and it is not dissuaded from its purpose. It only opens its maw wider. Those of you on top of the boat see the opening, fangs and teeth spilling out above the waves, black and sickly teeth, darker than night, a maw 8 feet wide, clomping down on the side of the ship as it makes 2 attack rolls. First, it will make a vigor roll to become unshaken. Whoa. It's fine.
-2?
It no longer suffers wound penalties.
Oh, boy.
It hits not with a raise. Its strength is increased to a D12 plus 7. What? Chomps.
Oh my god.
It does 10 damage to the boat, which is not enough to cause a wound to old Maribel.
That was very lucky.
Excellent. I like this.
But as it clamps down, it starts to thrash and turn in the water, trying to clutch it deeper within its maw and just trying to pull off a side of the boat with its frenzy attack. Ellis, do you want to make an agility roll to stay atop this thing?
In this scenario, would it be possible that instead it's just a straight strength roll since I'm just hanging on to this knife?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool.
Do it.
I got a 6.
Oh my god, I forgot it had a +2 to that attack, you guys.
Oh,
and
no.
to the damage.
Why you gotta
Oh
be
no.
like
no.
So the 12 with the +2.
Well, and it hit with the raise then. Okay, what did it roll on damage? 10? Damn.
So it would be 12.
Then yeah, it would be enough to cause Maribel a wound yet again.
that? All right.
I mean, it would make sense. It's
down
just
the
taking
whole
a
thing?
chunk out of it.
So it's taken 1 wound right now.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Thaddeus.
this ship
Good
would be
shit,
going
Thaddeus.
under,
Good
Thaddeus.
Good shit, Thaddeus.
You know,
My
just
God.
damage mitigation, guys. You know what I
And
mean to
it
do.
may still, as this thing claws in with the Joker, blows up a 6. That's easy with a raise. Easily with the raise. So that's a 13 to attack Maribel.
What do I have to roll for the strength roll? You never said. Is there any...
Just do flat. Just
Cool,
do flat.
got it.
Okay. D12 plus 7 plus 2d6. Oh, that's not bad at all. Holy shit. Oh no, I forgot the plus 7. That's that's 16 damage. 2 raises.
Can we use a Benny to soak for the boat?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, maybe.
There's a edge called Ace, which allows you to do that. An old boot has 1 penny left.
Thank you, old
taking
boot.
it
Come
for
on, old boot. Come on, old boot.
I think I just have to assign a vigor to the ship. How vigorous do we think Maribel is, guys?
Or do
She's
you
a
think
12
it's...
fucking-
I think it's a D8.
Or do you think
Yeah,
it's...
that's-
Yeah,
that sounds-
plus 7.
She's a
Sounds
tough old
good.
bitch, you know?
Do you think it's old boots boating? his skill at driving the boat to try to mitigate this damage as it comes in.
Also, do wound penalties count for boats too?
I don't know. I don't know.
Asking the real questions this session.
Character can spend bennies to soak damage for his vehicle and ignores up to 2 points of penalties.
All right.
We're going to assume it's his boating because I don't want to look up the rule, and that makes sense. An old boot has a D10 and everything anyway. Oh, he blew up his 6. No big deal. Into a 6. My God, he soaked it. He soaked it, I think.
Oh, boo.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, old boot, thank God, with his last Benny.
Still just one wound then?
Yes.
Total.
Still just one total wound.
I can still work with this.
Oh, man. How does old boot soak this?
I don't know.
So
How does old
as this thing bites on, it starts to go into like a shake, right? It starts shaking its head. I think that old boot kind of like times his acceleration to move with it as it kind of like swings its head to the right. Instead of the boat staying in one place and this thing ripping a chunk out of it, he goes with its movement and just kind of keeps that hole intact.
You could do that, or I got a cool option.
Oh, God. What a shitter.
Old Boot sees a tremendous wave on the horizon coming towards us, and he steers into it with all of his force, and it hits this wave, knocking the boat up a little bit higher and like on the water than it was before, just enough, just in time for this thing to miss it.
Keep cams.
Keep
cams.
It already bit it though, so that didn't even make sense.
Not to mention, a wave is not going to dissuade a shark.
Not necessarily.
Dude.
Look, we can use both of those if we survive one more round.
No,
All right, moving on. It is Abel's turn with an ace of spades. This thing is still locked on to the hull of Maribel.
Is it just flesh? Like this just like gray sea creature flesh? Or are there like eyes or anything?
You only can see the flesh and the black teeth.
So Abel's been shoving Ghost Rock into these engines, right? So they're screaming top capacity now.
Yeah.
So he looks up as this in the steam, like the water that's pouring down out of the sky and just like instantly fizzing and steaming off this like boiling hot engine. And sees this thing clamping onto the boat, sees his brothers running around, and he runs at it, shoves a pistol into the teeth, and just fans a hammer, trying to shoot down the throat of this thing.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Get it.
The penalties are out the window because you're not on an unstable platform, and I think narratively there are no penalties for this except for the fanning the hammer.
And since I have improved hip shooting, I don't even take penalties for that.
God,
What an
damn.
insane edge.
Okay.
What's your shooting?
I'm glad you asked. It's a D10.
Oof.
3 hits, 1 with a raise.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a Benny to reroll. I should hit at least 4.
Better.
Oh,
Good
God.
call.
Oh my God.
So we have a 33, 3 hits with a raise, and then 1 normal hit.
So Abel's shooting Ellis's tiger pistol that he gave him.
It's a good one.
Actually, that he took way, way, way back on the train. That's been his main piece since he lost the big iron. So he just shoves the pistol in, barrel kind of through the teeth, and you just hear the muted sounds of this, right? It's just the mouth and everything absorbs it. It's 2d6 plus 1 for each of those shots.
AP
all of
one.
the raises, 3d6.
Let's just do them one at a time.
So that's only 8 on the first one,
Nothing.
14,
Nothing.
Oof, this will be something.
18.
That shakes it. So there's this shot as the gun smoke and steam rises from your gun, Abel, and this thing just barely reacts as you like fire into it. There's black viscous liquid that splashes out towards you, mixing with the rain on your new clothes. And as you step back with the tiger pistol, it just crunches tighter onto the boat.
What in the hell, boys?
With that, everyone needs to make a guts roll. This is it's a -3 for the area, -2 for the creature, so -4 plus your gut.
Is this because of something we're seeing? Because Thaddeus is under deck, so he doesn't see
then
any
you're
of this.
fine. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, Lucky's good.
9.
Yep, I passed with a 5.
Well, mine was 5, 7.
Grace and Mayhew fail.
Uh-oh.
Mayhew, D20. Mayhew is distracted until the end of his next turn.
You don't say.
Okay.
Distracted
That's
by
like
what?
best case scenario.
Grace got a 16. Grace is panicked. And rather than read the effect, I'll just do it. she cocks her rifle. It's jammed. She looks up to Abel, failing. She drops the rifle to the deck, looks to Harper, and then runs full speed off the boat.
Oh no.
And dives into the water. She moves her full pace away from the danger and is shaken. I mean, that's how I'd interpret it, right? Full pace is off the fucking boat. The D6. Yep, easily.
Do you think she would jump off the boat?
I think fear is irrational, you know?
Maybe she thinks she can swim away.
She can swim for it before it breaks the boat. It's all distracted with fighting us that she can get away.
Old Boot will also make a fear roll.
He has a D10 in guts, though.
He's got like 10 grit, doesn't he?
Rolling flat D10 and D6. He makes it. Old Boot's
Oh,
fine.
thank God. He's just going to jump
so
off the boat,
screwed.
too.
And with that, Old Boot's making a boating roll. Blowing up a 10. Into a 10. Into an 8. So
Dang.
-4, that's 24.
He's seen this before.
Honestly, that's enough successes and raises to make it to the thing. So with the power, I mean, you won't quite be there yet from the narrative, but you're going to reach there. Abel, with all this ghost rock you've put in there, he like raises his left hand up above the wheel and he pulls down this lever, increasing airflow into both of the furnaces. The screaming overtakes even the sound of the thunder and roarous gunfire as the whole boat lurches forward, bounding over waves, pulling this thing along with you. Ellis, it's your turn.
Yes. I'm gonna do the good old Star Spangled Banner. All right. I'm gonna do a frenzy attack. I'm gonna punch him a couple times. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just holding on to this thing with all my strength, holding on to this knife as it's now just currently lodged onto this ship, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start swinging exactly where am I, by the way, on this thing? Where did I land?
You are behind this maw.
Oh, so I'm like on its head?
For lack of a better word, its neck.
Does it have
Interesting.
fins or anything?
Well, that makes sense then. I like hit it really hard right on its neck.
There are appendages that are listlessly and frantically moving under and above the waves.
Well, I'm going to place my blows to the closest spot where I would assume its vertebrae would be.
Cool.
I don't know what it has down there, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm going to roll it up. Here it goes.
Well,
Oh, my God.
Let's
I
see
hope
some damage.
we're going to check those dice. I think
That's
they're weighted,
two
dude.
D12s, rolling 12s. I can't even.
Wow.
What's the fucking probability of that? That's absurd.
Oh,
That's
man.
incredible.
that's
One in
like the third
144?
time.
When you're using weighted dice, it's a 100%
Hey, these are
probability.
Caleb's dice, by the way.
So don't worry about it.
That's weird. I got these out of Caleb's dice box. I wonder what's going on there.
All right, let's see it.
He said, wait, those are mine, but I was like, I really want them. First damage. Here we go. Come on. Okay. We're looking at 19. The 6 blew up.
25. The 6 blew up.
31.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
What the fuck?
This is insane.
Okay, there we go. 39 plus 4 from wild attack plus 3. That's 42.
He broke
Oh
40.
my
That's the
God.
answer.
Broke
You know?
40.
That's the answer. 42, guys.
Nobody ever fight Ellis. I swear to God. If Waichuge
told
turns,
you, dude.
blew up though, dude. That was like
I know.
crazy. What are you
I
talking
told
about?
you.
that's the fourth time you've done that in this combat.
That's just
how-
That's not.
We
that's
told
not
you,
me.
dude.
That's just dice.
We
That's
told
just
you.
odds. It's probability,
Don't
man.
ever fight
I don't
him.
know, man. We still want to fight
Or
you.
would it be a fight?
How do you send this thing to the depths?
Dang, I didn't expect to have to do it. What is it made out of? Like, I mean, like, what's below the flesh of this thing? Is it blubber? Is it meat? Is it black? Is it red? What's in here?
It's meat and blubber.
Meat and blubber?
It's red, but the bones are stark white.
Okay, so I can see the bones, perhaps. Maybe the first attack I did, I'm very good at placing my blows. I was able to place the 2 first attacks in the exact same spot. I was actually able to punch through this thing's flesh, through its blubber. And on this final attack, I just saw a bit of white peeking out from below this thing's viscera and flesh. I don't know another way to put it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that, I just aimed my fist right at it, cocked it back, and I hit it as hard as I could. And I felt like a snap that kind of tremoured through this thing's this whole body as it kind of went limp. It releases from the ship and starts to sink as I kind of go down with it into the waves.
Thank you for listening to Sounds Like Crows. If you like the show, please tell a friend about us. It's our easiest way to gain new listeners. Thaddeus was played by Marshall Sims at Mr. Malicious 1. Abel was played by Isaac Sunstead at Able the Crow. Elijah Lee Crow was played by Alex Horrell at Alex Horrell. Luciano Lucky Crow was played by Cameron Day, who you can find on our Patreon exclusive Discord server. Harper was played by Cameron Reed at CJ Reed 211. And I'm Marshall Caleb at Marshall Caleb on Twitter. See you next Monday.